Hi guys, me again, and I'm here to talk about pigs again. And it stems from this video that I saw the other day. Just take a look, see what you think.
Scientists and MPs are now urging the UK government to put cigarette-style warnings on processed meat. As well as being highly ultra-processed, these type of meats contain nitrites, a compound known to cause cancer, which is why processed red meat is classed as a Group 1 carcinogen, which is in the same category as smoking and asbestos. A UK coalition of scientists and MPs, including Professor Chris Elliott, a former government food safety advisor, urges urgent action. Just 50 grams a day, which is basically 2 slices of ham, increases bowel cancer risk by 18%. And
So, as she mentions, pork products, ham, sausages, bacon, everything that's been processed, highly processed, um, becomes a class 1 carcinogen. So, having a bacon sandwich, having ham for your lunch, um, and maybe sausage and mash for tea, that is like having 40 fags. It's as bad as that. Um, and it's something that is really, really damaging to us and our children. Um, and I'm here to talk about it. So if we go back to some of the videos that I've done previously, um, and how tightly bound bacon and pork is, particularly to our Christian Western identity. Um, this idea that pork products are so detrimental to our health um, really brings that into question. So the pork industry is heavily regulated and very, very powerful. So I was reading a story recently. Well, it's not a story, it's an academic book. It's by Laurie Gruen and Carey Wolf, where they talk about um, the pork industry during COVID in America. And so what happened was, initially, because of COVID regulations, they had to close down the bacon factories and the pig processing factories because of health and safety. And so these people that work in this factory, that are usually and predominantly poor people, they're often migrants. Um, this became an issue not just of um, class, but also of race. Um, so this was closed for their own safety, which was obviously a good thing. But because of heavy lobbying by the industry to get the pork processing plants up and running again, because billions of them are needed to supply our Western diets every year, they reopened in spite of these regulations that led to many of these poor people, these poor, often migrant people, um, becoming sick and dying because they were forced to work in an environment that was unsafe for them. They were working really closely together. So it became an issue not just of supplying this pork meat that is killing us, but also it was killing us at the expense of the poor people that were working in these factories, and it continues to be a really dangerous environment for poor people that work in these factories. So I've said repeatedly that even though I've talked quite extensively about how pork and pigs are linked so closely to our identity, that it's a personal choice. This isn't about telling everybody to stop eating bacon. It's about recognizing that they're so heavily tied to our Christian identity, and about how we promote ourselves as superior to Jewish and Muslim people. And it also ties in if you watch my videos too, um, this gender ideology of men promoting themselves as superior to women. Um, so I'm not asking you to stop eating bacon just to recognize this ideology. I'm asking us to really think carefully about why we're eating this bacon that's essentially killing us. And is upholding a superior identity enough to continue to shovel this stuff in our mouths and into our diets and into our kids' diets and their packed lunches, just to uphold this kind of superior identity above others? Because that's essentially what we're doing. So, just to reflect here, there are taxes on sugar, there's taxes on cigarettes, there's taxes on alcohol, there's taxes on all of these foods that are supposed and foods and cigarettes are obviously a food, but all of these things that are fun and that are nice and fun to do. But perhaps we're not really thinking about this park issue that is killing us. We're not thinking about it because it's so heavily tied to who we are as a society. So perhaps it's time to really reflect on that and think, look, I don't want my family to be exposed to class 1 carcinogens every time they have a ham sandwich for their lunch, just to think about other choices. And plus, it's better for the piggies. So another author, a guy called David Clough, who is a religion and animal scholar, he talked about being at an abattoir, a pig processing plant, and witnessing the moment of the pig's death, in which they brought them all in into a room, and one by one stunned them with a gun. And he said it was the closest thing that he's ever experienced to witnessing a human genocide, because pigs are really, really smart. So it's not just that they're tasty, it's that we're eating something that is cleverer than our dogs. So pigs have been known to be, well, they've been proved in research to be able to manipulate joysticks. They can learn as quickly as an 8-year-old child. They are one of the smartest animals on the planet. So we're using these creatures. The poor are packing them, putting themselves in danger, and it's the poor predominantly that are eating them. So we're upholding a superior identity, but also at the same time killing ourselves and one another. So maybe it's time to really reflect on this issue and think about change, maybe a replacement. I'm not suggesting that we all go out and buy Linda McCartney sausages right away, but maybe a couple of times a week, just replace that ham with something that's not going to be killing us in the next 5 to 10 years. All right, take care. Bye bye.